scorching Arizona desert stretched endlessly beneath the blazing afternoon sun, as rancher Caleb Turner guided his horse toward the crowded frontier trading post. For years, Caleb lived completely alone on his remote cattle ranch, after losing his wife during a deadly winter fever. Silence filled his home constantly, and loneliness slowly became his only lasting companion there afterward forever. That afternoon, unusual noise echoed across the trading post loudly. Curious townspeople gathered around a wooden platform, while armed guards watched carefully nearby. Caleb frowned after noticing several frightened Apache prisoners standing beneath the burning heat. Among them stood one young Apache woman, whose calm dignity remained unbroken, despite chains wrapped painfully around her bruised wrists and exhausted fragile body there publicly. The cruel trader shouted prices carelessly, as though selling livestock instead of human beings. Most buyers laughed while inspecting the prisoners coldly. Caleb felt anger rising deeply inside him, watching the humiliating scene unfold nearby. Suddenly, the Apache woman lifted her tired eyes toward him briefly. Though frightened clearly, her expression carried strength, sadness, and quiet desperation impossible for Caleb ignoring anymore there silently. Without hesitation, Caleb stepped forward and offered payment immediately. The crowd smirked knowingly, assuming the lonely rancher finally desired companionship after years isolated alone. But Caleb ignored every whisper surrounding him completely. Once the money exchanged hands, he walked directly toward the Apache woman and carefully removed the heavy chains from her trembling wrists, himself gently there before everyone watching silently nearby together. The woman looked confused while rubbing painful marks left upon her skin. Caleb handed her a canteen filled with cool water before speaking calmly. "You're free now," he said quietly. "Nobody owns you." The trader burst into laughter mockingly. "You paid good money just releasing her?" Caleb stared coldly toward him afterward. "Freedom matters more than money," he answered firmly there publicly. The Apache woman introduced herself softly as Naomi during their long ride toward Caleb's ranch. At first she remained cautious naturally, expecting hidden cruelty eventually appearing like before. Yet Caleb treated her respectfully throughout the journey, offering food, blankets, and silence whenever needed. He never demanded anything from her. Slowly, Naomi realized the lonely rancher beside her truly meant every compassionate word spoken honestly there. When they arrived at the ranch, Caleb prepared a separate bedroom inside the farmhouse carefully. Though simple and worn from years alone, the house felt peaceful compared with everything Naomi survived previously. Days gradually turned into weeks while she remained there recovering emotionally. She helped feed horses, repaired clothing, and shared farming knowledge, passed down through Apache generations lovingly with Caleb each morning afterward there. For the first time in years, laughter returned inside Caleb's lonely farmhouse naturally. Naomi's presence transformed the once silent ranch into something warm and alive again completely. Meanwhile, Caleb restored something far more important for her than safety alone. He restored dignity, trust, and freedom. Unlike others viewing her as property, Caleb saw the courageous woman hidden behind years of pain and suffering there clearly. One evening, beneath the glowing desert sunset, Naomi stood quietly beside Caleb watching horses roam freely across golden fields peacefully. Tears filled her eyes gently while warm wind moved through her dark hair softly. "Nobody ever gave me freedom before," she whispered emotionally. Caleb smiled faintly beside her. "Then they never truly saw your worth," he answered honestly, while sunset light covered them both warmly together. Months later, townspeople often spoke about the lonely rancher and the Apache woman living peacefully together beyond Arizona's endless plains. What began as an act of compassion slowly became family, trust, and genuine love. Caleb never bought Naomi to possess her. Instead, he gave her the one thing nobody else ever would: freedom. In return, she gave the lonely rancher a true home forever.